I mean, I'm responsible. I'm a single mom. I wouldn't say that I'm too different than what I've always been, but as far as being reliable and being, just doing what I'm supposed to do, I do what I'm supposed to do. My name is Kristen Worsham. I am 38 and I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas. I am a medical biller at Graceland Psychiatry. I just got my medical billing certification a few months ago. I wouldn't say I had a perfect upbringing, but I had an all right upbringing. So alcoholism runs in my dad's family really, really badly. My dad was given away to his aunt and uncle whenever he was a couple days old from his mom. And they both were really, really severe alcoholics. And so my dad was used to instability, abuse, and all that stuff early on.
I'm Irene Kelly. I'm 35 years old. I'm from Houston, Texas, born in 1990. I'm taking care of 2 children, single mom. I'm a caregiver, been in the industry over 10 years. That's something that I love to do. That's my passion, is helping elderlies and children. I had a wonderful childhood until I had my adopted mother. I was adopted, so my adopted mother was murdered when I was 11 years old, so that kind of led me to the streets. Didn't really have no family support, didn't really have no guidance or anything like that, so I took that and kind of was looking for love in the wrong places. It was only one. Actually was a friend of my biological mother, so I was adopted off at 3 weeks old, and then once she left and I was 11, I was just like into with her family, and her family, which I say had me home to home. My biological mother also, I knew her just by going to see her like on different weekends, maybe birthdays or something like that, but she was also abusive. So yeah, it was just like no stability. And I just decided to run away from that family when I was maybe 14.
I'm Jay. I'm 22 years old, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I lost my grandma at a very young age, my mom's mom, and that really affected me. And then later on in life, I lost my best friend to suicide, and that was very traumatic for me.
My name's Philip. I'm 26 years old, and I come from Harrison, Arkansas. Once I hit around 10 years old, a lot of things kind of changed for me. And it was really hard for me to deal with it without growing up so fast, especially, being the big brother and the very first child, the miracle child, from what my mom used to call me. And after that, I didn't get to enjoy childhood as much. I had to do a lot of responsibilities and hard thinking decisions as a big brother and as the, special son to my mom.
I first began smoking pot with my cousin whenever I was like 14, and then partying, like drinking and smoking weed was a big part of in my high school. Like that was just a normal, all the kids drank and smoked weed, honestly. And I already knew that I was different then. Like other kids could just, do it for one day and just bounce back. I don't know, it got a hold of me very early on.
The family that I was adopted in, that's all they did. That's all I seen. That's what I thought was something to do. So I thought it was cool because that's what I've always seen. So I just knew that smoking and stuff like that was part of living, something that I had to do to fit in. So it led there with me smoking marijuana and then like hanging around certain crowds of friends that were taking pills and stuff like that. So here I was taking them and things like that. I started from the age of 15.
I've really been around that kind of thing my entire life. My family kind of just hid it away from me. They didn't really make it known to me that they were doing drugs or drinking beer or wine or whatever. But once I got a little older and I started asking questions is when I was like fully introduced to it. And that's where it really started for me. Especially like marijuana. I was introduced to marijuana at a very young age, and I started smoking it at a very young age as well.
I think I was around 13 or 14 years old when I was first introduced to drugs, or at least me being more aware of it, you know? What got me into it was, at first it was Adderall, you know? I was prescribed Adderall and stuff like that. I was only supposed to take like 1 a day and stuff like that, but I was taking almost 6, 7, you know, a day. And then once I got introduced to junior high, I had a friend whose cousin came by one day, and he was just like, "Hey, you seem kind of cool, kid. You want to hang over at my place?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, definitely," you know. And I came over to his place, you know, middle of the woods, so, you know, it was a perfect place to kind of start my addiction on pot. And got my first hit, and I remember being so high that I couldn't walk straight. I greened out for sure and woke up playing a game of Dota, you know? And I remember him showing me a video a week later of me just sprawled out on a waterbed and just kind of giggling and stuff like that, which to some people it would sound like a good time, but when I look at it today, that's when I know that's when the whole struggle would start.
I always knew that I needed help, but I knew that I didn't want to change. I mean, for the longest time, I thought that I could never be normal. I thought that I would die, like using. I thought that that I couldn't be normal. I truly thought I didn't. There was something wrong with me. I could not be normal. That I couldn't be sober. Say hi. So I had tried getting sober several times before I had my son. And I did relapse twice from the time he was born. He eventually was taken away from me, and it just opened my eyes. Living without him was extremely difficult. And it made me never want to go back there. I don't want to live my life without my child. It's made it easy for me to stay sober, just wanting to be there for him. And then bringing him, into the Women and Children's House, and it's a great support system there. It really helped me transition into, just getting used to being a full-time mom, and being around other women who are in the same boat and who are moms too is really, really powerful. I really enjoyed living there.
2023, I was just over it. I had lost a friend who overdosed on him and just hit rock bottom. I found myself living downtown in Houston, nowhere to go, just downtown, no food, no clothes, no nothing. And I just rode the train back and forth, just praying and not knowing what my next step was gonna go, what next move I was gonna make, how was I gonna help myself. So I surrendered on the bus, on the train. I'm just like, I can't do it no more, Lord. I don't know. What is this? It's not my life. I know that's not my life living here. I know I'm way better than this. I have potential of good things, and I need myself because I was too busy worried about the children. What can I do to get the children back? But yet I had to let that go and worry about what can I do for Irene to get Irene on track. If I'm not on track, how can I get my kids on track? How can I get my kids back? How can I, so that day I'm riding the train, I just called a rehab. And the next morning they told me to come in. So that night that they told me to be there for 7 o'clock that morning, I slept at a park at night. Didn't really have a guy was out there with me all night. It rained and everything. I slept at a park right by the rehab. And I went there that morning. I mean, it was scary, but I knew I didn't have a way to make it back that way. I knew this is something that I wanted to do, I needed to do.
What helped me start to heal was finally taking the step to become sober and actually go through with it instead of telling myself, oh, I could do it whenever I want, and then just end up going back on my word or just telling myself that it wasn't worth it because I didn't want to. That was the first big stepping stone for me.
I had a friend introduce me to the church, and that's how I met everybody with, New Testament. And that's how I found out about Mastermind, was through the church. I had rented a room at a friend of mine at the time's her home, and it wasn't a safe space, and I just knew that I wanted to be in a safe place where I knew that sobriety and recovery was, the most important thing. I didn't want to go back to where, I didn't want to go back to what I was doing. I didn't want to be around, anybody drinking or using, and that was the safest place for me to go. Okay, so I lived at the Faith House for a little while until the Women and Children's House was fully ready for the women and children to move in. And so I was just a regular resident of Faith House, and then I eventually became a house manager at the Women and Children's Noah's Ark.
I actually showed up to Mastermind. This is something that I needed. Stability for me and my children, the Word of God, being in a faith-based house, women that was my kind, that could relate to what I was going through, and showing my kids something different than the normal. Like I said, I didn't know I was going to come there after something I had been crying about all this time. It took me to go through that day, the waiting that long at a homeless place, where I told you we was at a car zone. I didn't know. I could have walked back out that door just to go back out on the street, but yet I went back and I asked again that I needed help. So me walking into those doors was like everything was lifted.
We didn't really find Mastermind. Mastermind found us.
Yeah.
And I say us because it was me and Philip, my brother, and we were at Lady Bird Johnson Park, and we were sleeping outside, had been homeless for, I want to say, a week or 2 weeks at that point, sleeping outside on park benches, just staying at the park so we could get Wi-Fi and at least have communication with people. But we were at the park, and they happened to have a 5K race at that park, and they pulled up on us, and found us sleeping on a park bench, or under the pavilion, I should say. They found us. What really made me show up wasn't a feeling, it was really a person. And that person was Amanda from Mastermind, because not only did she want us to come to church and really experience what Mastermind was, but she also gave us a sense of security where we would be safe with these like-minded people. And she gave us an invitation to come to church, and that's what made us want to show up and continue to be here.
I think Mastermind's just so amazing. Like, you know, the things that they do, you know, going out and helping people who, you know, are having a hard time and that are, you know, I'm sure feel hopeless, and, you know, just to give them a meal even is, you know, you just don't see that happening. And I just think that that's really special. And then they, you know, tell people who are, you know, at their wits' end, you know, a way out, a way that they can, you know, have a nice home and have, you know, a nice home, food, you know, and something to look forward to, you know, that they're giving them that option. And I think that that's amazing.
It's a better life out there. I was once in your shoes where I gave up on hope until I had to surrender. Get on bended knee, talk to God as if you was talking to your best friend, and just open up, go find resources, because they're out there and they're free.
Mastermind means, I mean, it says it in the name, mastermind, master your mind. And I see it as a family outside of biological blood, by relation. Mastermind to me is a family that is willing to help you when nobody else will.